Welcome to Profit Doctor TV. This is John Patrick, your host. Today I'm coming to you live from Curlew Landings in Dunedin, Florida. You can tell why I might want to be outside today. Today's letter was an interesting one, and I actually had to bring some colleagues in to kind of discuss this one with me. And so let me read the letter before we get started. And it says, "Dear Profit Doctor, recently I found that I'm exhausted by the end of the day and that I'm really struggling with being able to stay motivated. Can you help?" And it's signed, Hugh B. Exhausted. Well, Mr. Exhausted, as I mentioned, I spent some time with some of my colleagues studying yours, and ultimately what we determined is that you suffer from a condition called calendaritis. And calendaritis is, in this case, not something that you have, but something that you have a lack of having. And in your case, it's a combination of appointments and a sense of direction. The easiest way to take care of it is simply to pay attention to your schedule. But what we really see lacking is you're having set aside time for yourself. There's two areas that you should probably do that in. One of those is that we noticed that you haven't set aside any time for prospecting. And you know, in any given business, if part of what you need to do is develop business, you've got to set aside some time for that, just like you would set aside time for anything else. Otherwise, it's very easy to look back at the end of the day and find that you didn't have time to get it done. Part of that's human nature, because prospecting isn't necessarily something a lot of people like to do. It's just part of what you have to get done. And so you tend to procrastinate and push that off to the side. So it's very important that you actually focus some time on it. The other thing is that we didn't find any evidence that you're spending any time in personal development. And there again, it's one of those things, if you just try to let it happen, it's not going to. You need to schedule some time, whatever that might be. In my case, I tend to spend my lunchtime eating and reading so that I'm doing something productive during that time. You need to spend a minimum of a half hour a day focusing on your mental physical conditioning, just like you would spend on cardio or on exercise. A minimum of half an hour. I'd recommend, frankly, an hour. Regardless of how busy you are and anything else, you've got to take the time to get yourself focused. I recommend reading, whether it could be something about positive mental attitude, could be autobiography or biography from someone who has gone through a tremendous amount of trials and tribulations and came out successful on the other side. It could be something certainly spiritual, sales related, business related. But those are the two things that I really stress. Over the next week, focus on that. Start your week out by having scheduled some time to prospect, some time to read, work on yourself. And I think at the end of the day and the end of the week, you'll find you're much more relaxed and you're much more focused. So hopefully that'll work. Let me know how it goes. Until next week, this is John Patrick, your Profit Doctor. Take 2 doses of cash flow and call me in the morning.